Okay, here we go with some hints for homework sheet 6. The first question has 3 fractions in it. Now remember, when you're adding fractions, the first thing you need to do is you need to add the whole numbers. So we'll look at the 3 and the 2, and we add them up first of all to get 5. Then we'll look at the fractions, and in particular we'll look at the 4 and the 12, and think to yourself, what's the first number which appears in both the 4 and the 12 times table. So the 4 times table is 4, 8, 12, 16 and so on. 12 times table, 12, 24 and so on. So the first number that appears in both is 12. So the bottom number is going to be 12. You need to change the top number that goes in here. This one doesn't require changing because it is over 12 already. So your answer will be 5 and so many twelfths. Now if you've done it properly, you will find that this number up the top here is top heavy. So that means we've actually got an extra whole in so many twelfths, which you can cancel to be 6 and something. Second question, take away, is exactly the same. Deal with the whole numbers. 8 take away 5 is 3. Oh look, it's 12s and 3, so again it's 12 on the bottom. Move the 7 down, change the 1, do the subtraction, and once again there's a little bit of simplifying at the end. The multiplying fractions, these are treated slightly differently. You need to turn them top heavy. So 7 times 1 add 1 is 8 over 7. 5 times 2 add 4, 14 over 5. Now we do a wee bit of cancelling. The 7 and the 14 cancels. Solve all that, get your answer. Number 2, we've got Derek, who was 1.2 centimetres. I'm going to change that to 120 centimetres. You'll see why in a minute. His finishing height was 1.44 metres, which I'm also going to change to 144 centimetres. Okay, so he started at 120, he went up to 144, so that means he grew by 24 centimetres. What was his percentage growth? Well, the little formula we're going to use for that is the change divided by the start times 100. So, how much did he change by? 24. What was he at the start? 120 times your answer by 100 to get a percentage. Do some cancelling. Makes life easy. Okay, question 3, some positive negative numbers. Now BODMAS tells us that we have to do this part first of all. Negative 3 times 2. Now remember, negative 3 times 2 is just the same as saying 2 lots of negative 3. And 2 lots of negative 3, well there's one lot, there's the second lot, 2 lots of negative 3, when we add all this up, it's just negative 6. So the question is really saying, what's 5 take away negative 6? So use your little positives and negatives. So we've got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And from that, we've got to take away negative 6. Now we can't take away negative 6 there. Why not? Because we don't have any negatives to take away. So we're going to have to introduce them. So if I introduce a negative, I have to introduce a positive, a negative, introduce a positive, and keep going until you've put the negative 6 in, and then you're going to take away the negatives and you're going to be left with a positive answer. Similarly with the second one, you've got positive 3, and then we're going to add on negative 4, and then we want to take away negative 6. I can't take away negative 6 just now because I've only got 4 negatives here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I need to do then is I would need to add another 2 negatives, which means add 2 positives to compensate. Now I can take away the negative 6, and then the last one is take away 2 positives and you'll have the final answer. Question 4, increase £15 by 35%. So find 10% first of all. So 10% of 15 is £1.50. 5% is going to be half of that, which is 75p. You work out what 35% is now, and then add it on to the £15 that you started with. Remember what I said last week, a lot of people forgot to add it on at the end. Mr. West's painting, right, it increases by 6.5%, so that's 100, add 6.5, is 106.5%. Turn that into a decimal, 1.065. How many years is he doing it for, or how many years is the painting going up for? Will you work that out for the power? Times, now just put the starting value in your calculator as 3.6. Do not put it in as all the zeros. As long as you remember when you get your final answer, you write million at the end. Question 6, the area one. Now if I wanted to make this area, how would I actually go about making it? What I would do is I would start with a rectangle, and then from that I would take off half a circle. So what's the formula for a rectangle? Length times breadth. Do we know the length of the shape? Yep, tells you in the question. Do we know its width? Yep, it tells you in the question. So that should be easy to do. And we've got to take off a half circle. So a full circle is pi r squared. We need to half it. So the only thing we need for this question is, do we know the radius of the circle? And the answer is we definitely do, because we know the whole distance up here. So if we know the whole distance, then we know what the radius is. Put the radius into the formula here. Get your answer for the half circle. Do a takeaway sum, and you're done. Don't forget to put the correct units in. Second part of this question is how much is it going to cost for the logo? Well, we know that it's £3,500 for every square metre. So whatever answer you got for the top part, do the calculation, and you've got how much it's going to cost you. Finally, Helen, who's getting a pay increase of 7%. So you want to know how much her pay was previously. So that's a reverse percentage question. Okay, and my way of doing the reverse percentages is 100 add 7 is 107%. Turn that into a decimal, 1.07. And remember, because it's a reverse percentage, we're going to do a divide sum. I'm going to let you work out what number goes here and what number goes here to give me our final wage. That's it.